cleared. We've got to look at it here.
Oh, wow. Way up out of the groove there.
Yeah. He just gets up next to the wall, and probably as he comes off, he's got to overcorrect at some point in time and bounce off the outside. Here he comes.
And then to come down, gosh.
Wow.
Still carrying a lot of speed.
A lot of speed.
It's a hard hit for
Yeah,
Morgan.
that was a hard hit there.
You see, we're just going to catch him. He's already up the racetrack way out of the groove by that point in time. And that's where the car would get on the splitter, when it loaded itself up getting in the first corner. You know, we see these are the type of accidents you see early in practices. You see right where it needed to rotate. If it was on the splitter, it just goes straight up the racetrack.
Making this happen and getting himself, he just got in the wall right there off of turn 4
Wow.
as we were watching all that.
Wow. Go back to, like Dale said, you see the right front and then the right rear slap, and it's a car's arm. You see him right here, and see, it just turns right. There's nothing he can do right there. There's nothing. He's just along for the ride. When this car starts up the racetrack, and boom, you see it hits the right front, and then slaps the right rear. That's a hard hit.
It's off of turn 2, KP.
Yeah, and this is where Morgan Shepherd got a little bit same thing. Got outside the groove, hits it with the right front, and just slaps with that right rear. You can't convey to people a lot of times sitting at home. Watch this, watch the right front hit, and then the right rear hit, and then the right front. But when it slaps the wall is when it really catches you.
So this is for Joey Gase, the current red flag. Same place, Kyle.
Same place. And that, we've talked about it. And that looks almost identical to view how high he is. He's up on the upper edge. Look down to the left. Or down to the right side, to the lower right side of the corner coming off there, the black line.
Caution. 8th car today with an issue, Kyle.
Outside the groove. See the groove? See the groove as he crosses.
Yeah, what I don't understand is I thought when he moved up the racetrack, he could have been able to slow down enough, no problem. It just shows you how slick it is out of the groove. I mean, he wasn't trying to continue with
So Majeski,
and they're 3 wide for second now. Caution is out. Caution on lap 3 here at Texas, and it's the 54 of Bo Lamastus, and that is a big hit. Flat right rear. He's really not going to like how it handles with that. There's the contact, hard contact from Gilliland. That truck did not turn. No, he just got, it looked like that possibly could be a right front tire failure, Phil. I know if you get up there on the outside of the groove, it's really slippery. So difficult, but Friesen is able to put away Gregson as he goes through, and right in front of Johnny Sauter goes the 9 of Cody Robaugh around. Robaugh does a nice job of just bumping the outside wall. He'll
see the black truck right up in front of him.
Just gets loose. Oh, and Sauter does a great job, as does Bailey Curry. And was that Jesse Little slipping through after being on pit road? 3 guys that just did a perfect job avoiding a crash. Here's Sauter's view. Did you see him wiggle his wheel?
Right now, all up in the top 7 positions other than Johnny Sauter.
And there's Robaugh around again for the 2nd time, and that brings out the caution once again. His career for Myatt Snyder leads the Rookie of the Year standings, and right now he leads the race. He's out front. I don't see any way they don't crash.
Sideways.
And they did. The 4 of Roper is around. Contact all over the place. Noah Gregson got sideswiped there, and I believe that's Johnny Sauter that was in the mix and with some contact as well. And there's the 0-4 of Corey Roper.
That's the first truck that I saw sideways over there in the middle of 3 and 4.
Heavy damage to Roper, and there's the 12 of Tyler Young. No telling where he could end up at the end of the night.
Oh, 3 wide. You can see the 8 truck of Nemechek around and into Roper, and then watch Sauter through the middle of it.
Yeah, he and Noah Gregson made some pretty good contact. See the 12 of Tyler Young. You got the worst of it right here when Corey Roper gets sideways and is going to take him out.
Thorson right there in the middle of Sauter and Gregson, and Thorson took a little bit of damage as well.
Watch that red truck on the outside. Looked like when he drove in on the right rear quarter of the 8 of Joe Nemechek, that got Joe sideways.
You could see the contact there from Gregson as he slides by into the side of Sauter.
Well, you could just tell from that onboard mic of Sauter, that hit with Gregson was significant.
These trucks are tough, though, Vince. I didn't see a lot of damage to the right side of Gregson, and the left was wrinkled up on Sauter, but still.
It's a full slate of action Sunday. What catch?
Has no experience at this level. Just gets a little bit high, probably, Phil. Loose up the hill, and around he goes. Great driving by those other truckers to not make further contact with Creed.
Well, they get up out of the groove. It seems like that wall just sucks him in.
Sure does. He did a nice job not letting that truck hit the inside wall, but still significant damage to the rear.
Get things started here for the final stage. This is why we were under caution. Sheldon Creed into the wall. Restart.
Shane Lee with a good restart on that outside with the 9 of Tyler Reddick pushing him.
And sideways, Bell already sideways in front of the field. Slides up the racetrack. He'll stay out of the wall. A little contact with some of the drivers behind him as the caution has come out. The pole winner, Christopher Bell, sideways on the bottom of the racetrack. You two saw him have to check up. Look again.
I mean, that thing came around. It didn't, you know, a lot of times you see a car shake and wiggle a little bit, then it spins out. That thing just jumped sideways. And you heard him say, when I interviewed him, he said these cars make grip right until they don't. And what that means is you can't feel it. The car doesn't get a little bit loose and then a little bit looser. It just snaps sideways and around you go, and that's what we saw right there.
What was Elliott Sadler must be thinking right here? The worst of the playoff cars as far as qualifying goes. And look at him. He's about 8 rows back in that blue car. The one goes around, and as everybody comes into the smoke, Elliott Sadler is trying to get slowed down, looking in his mirror, making sure.
As they did at Charlotte. Yeah, he actually spun. Tired out.
Earnhardt. You look here.
See it just running through that grass and that front splitter tearing the grass up. I like that artificial.
The 20 of Christopher Bell, 26 points below that cutoff line, and the 39 up the track. Ryan C gets into the 11th. And the caution will come out again.
I had time for 2 old boys before that one happened. We saw that one coming right side. So that 39 has air pushing on the right side door. When the 11 gets there, the air is just not as good.
That's right. And so that's side force. That's a losing side force. And that side force just packs air on that right rear quarter panel, and it keeps that right rear quarter panel from going to the right. It keeps it from spinning out. Car's on the outside of it, no air going to it. Around he goes. And it's made worse this end because the grip level in 1 and 2 is so much less than it is in 3 and 4.
Yeah, with the reduced banking, you definitely lean on aerodynamics more, Rick. It's just like sticking your hand out the window, driving down the interstate. You can imagine at 70 miles an hour how much pressure there is on your hand. Well, imagine at over 200 miles an hour.
Here he goes,
Now
Steve.
a lot of traffic. Here comes Cole Custer. Looks to the inside of the 9 as they go into turn 1. And Cole Custer, the preferred line. The 35 gets tagged by Tyler Reddick. He slides sideways in front of the 2. Up the racetrack he goes, and the caution will come out.
I never touched it.
Well, you hear Reddick say he never touched him, so maybe just taking the air off of the back of that 35.
So you see right here, Reddick leading. The 2 lap cars get side by side. That pins Reddick to the bottom. He tries to go underneath Gates, doesn't feel like he leaves a room. That allows a 00 to get underneath the 9, and now they go in there side by side. And the 9, can't tell from that angle if he hit him or if the 35 just spins out.
You called it before it happened. You said this lap traffic was going to play a role. Let's see if there was contact.
This would be a much better angle. We'll see. Look at the front bumper of the 9.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
I'd say there's contact.
That's a affirmative.
So when I first saw it from that view from the rear, I didn't think he hit him, but he certainly hit him.
Stage from Texas. And Christopher Bell easily is going to clear the 1 of Elliott Sadler. And around they go. The 19 of Brandon Jones caught the 5 of Michael Annette.
Now coming in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Hold your brake, hold your brake. More coming. Roll. You're good here.
See right there, the 19 on the bottom of the racetrack, and once again, just the back gets pulled around.
And Allgaier was able to sneak through there.
So here they all kind of get stacked up, get into turn 1, everybody racing for the bottom. 19 loose really early. See the 60 getting into the back of the 00. Damage, I don't think. The car on the outside of you, it's no longer there.
Nice job sneaking by on the top there. No,
it's not as easy as they're assuming it's going to be.
This is Allgaier riding along with him.
You reckon high, go high, go high, go high, higher. Now come down, mid.
Caution out.
And the 11 hard smoke rolling out. You see the damage to the right side. Now, he was involved in an accident earlier.
To chase Hemrick down, he better get him quickly. What I've seen so far is Hemrick's got good long run speed. I think Allgaier needs to get
the 20
contact.
goes around with contact of the 22.
And into the wall goes Christopher Bell, one of the championship contenders, in the wall early. And a lot of damage to the 20.
Go right to the box.
22 up the track.
Yeah, Cindric just couldn't hold the bottom of the racetrack.
Cast it up.
Most of that we've seen in 1 and 2. This time it's in 3 and 4.
Interesting now how many laps are left in this race.
Yeah, the 20. This is I mean, look at the left front tire on the 20. I would say they have some pretty catastrophic suspension damage. I'm not sure they're even going to be able to continue. There it is, the contact. 22 up the racetrack. Sends the 20 around, and you mentioned it, Rick. 66 to go. We'll look at 65, maybe 64 when pit road is open. Fuel window at 60. You know me, I'm a gambler. I'm on pit road for sure.
Do you gamble?
Side 22 there, quarter. Inside quarter. Give him room. Cast it up. Cast it up. Cast it up. Correct.
I mean, to keep from getting spun out.
What will he do as they go through 1 and 2? He races him hard.
Oh, and there's a wreck behind him.
Behind him into the fence, the 18 and the 19.
2 Gibbs cars. Who's going to be the leader here?
Now they'll go to the last loop crossed when the caution came out to determine who was up front.
Once again,
Brandon Jones.
Yeah, free again. We saw it earlier in the race.
You never like to go up to the racetrack and collect anybody. Even worse when it's your teammate.
Yeah.
The 19 was out there on old tires. Tried to save that set because he had spun earlier. I think he's going to have to come to pit road now, put on his last set of tires. And these are going to be interesting decisions because this caution should get Cole Custer and Elliott Sadler inside their fuel window. No one in front of them is inside their window. So while Justin Allgaier.
We're seeing Joey Gase there, and this is the reason for the caution. Joey Gase, another one. The car's on the inside. We see him slide up the racetrack, hit the wall. Position and points. John Hunter Nemechek, and the caution could come out here. The 16 of Ryan Reed around, and it does come out.
Mark it down.
Now, instead of coming to pit road, do you shut it off? And try to save fuel because you're going to have less than 10 laps to go to the finish.
Rick, this is why I did TV. 2 teammates.
Once again, a car on the outside of another car taking the air off the 60 car. Jeski driving the 60. It's up the racetrack in Ryan Reed, and nothing new. That's the same wreck we've seen all day long.
And who will come to pit road? That now is the big question.
Well, and the reason we continue to talk about fuel is because it seems like tires, once they cool, they kind of come back as good as brand new tires.
2.
And Reddick's not going to give him any room whatsoever. He's going to really put his left side on contact behind him.
John Hunter Nemechek dives to the inside, makes it 3 wide as they go into 3.
It's an advantage, John Hunter Nemechek, side by side. John Hunter up the racetrack.
And the 3 of Shane Lee goes around, catches Daniel Hemrick, one of the championship contenders. Caution comes out again.
Hemrick didn't hit anything. But you can see right here, Shane Lee on the bottom of the racetrack, and once again, just can't hold the line. Seen it all day long. A lot of Cup drivers watching this race, getting increasingly nervous about tomorrow.
Just a 3 inside, 4 hard. Right on it, right on it. Broke spinning, broke spinning, broke spinning. Keep digging, so we keep it out of the wall. Cross her back out, you're good.
You would guess flat spotted tires, though, for the 21?
Yeah, certainly. These guys behind him, some pretty good contact right here.
As you see those guys wrecked, you saw the leaders come through the picture, Rick. It seemed like the 9 of Tyler Reddick had the advantage on Cole Custer, and as they ride around here onto caution laps, that's what we have. Reddick, Custer, Sadler, John Hunter Nemechek, the top 4.
So once again, Sadler will be pushing from the inside, or inside of the middle of that turn.
It's just crazy that.
And the caution has come out.
The
24.
Come in. That's the last one. Come on.
A couple cars around
Jimmy
down
Brown,
there.
we got into him a little bit here.
Will be Chad Knaus. And it was the 48s that was involved. 4.
Yeah, down into turn 3. Really early. Look, Jimmy's already spinning out right there. I mean, this is just not like the way these cars are supposed to drive. I mean, these drivers don't deal with these kind of conditions anywhere else at any other racetrack where they're spinning out before they ever get to the corner. Look at the wheels, though. Look how hard he's got it turned to the left. Jimmy trying to keep it out of the fence, just cranked full left, full lock to the left to save that car from going into the fence. William Byron, just unfortunate for him to be in that position. Lucky did he get any more damage than that in that situation, but
Those front tires
Jimmy
are
with those
amazing.
tires are hilarious. And then when it hooks up, you know, he has the presence of mind to steer it out of that.
Just drove into turn 1. You couldn't keep the car on the bottom. Always makes you wonder if he had a tire going down, how slow he got. He drives into 1.
That's definitely a right front
Yeah,
tire.
look at his hands. His hands never move to the right or anything, just always to the left, right front down for sure.
Stop the sensor, clear low.
See all the damage on the right side. Today's Toyota driver up lane, and sure enough, the caution does come out. This time it's for David Starr in the 97.
We are the free pass race.
And there.
Oh, he gets down into turn 1 here. Looks like he has an issue. It's kind of a flat, I believe. Maybe his left rear.
The left rear looks a little soft maybe there. It's hard to tell. I mean, he's up a groove trying to let the leaders go, so he's not in the preferred lane.
Yeah. I give him the benefit of the doubt until I think he had a...
Just fix it.
Cautions come out.
Matthew B. Benedetto in the wall on the back straightaway somehow. He's had some contact.
Matt DiBenedetto, a lot of damage to the front end of that car. It is folded up.
Coming off of turn 2. There's a little contact between Bubba Wallace and the 37 car, Buescher, and 32 and Truex may have made some contact there to upset that 32 car. Matt gets in the inside wall. It'll be interesting to see if Truex got any right front damage from that.
Another thing that happened during this caution is that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is going to get the free pass, first car lap down. Well, that's only 2 cars now, 1 lap down, and one of those being Kyle Busch. So maybe one more caution and you see Kyle Busch get back in the lead lap.
I'm interested to see what Harvick does on this restart, what line he chooses.
Yeah.
He chooses the inside line again.
37 there.
The 12 car, Blaney has some experience in that outside line.
That was my life. He said the first press conference I was ever at, there were more eyes on me at that as the caution will come out. Now a restart will have to be Well, conquered again by Kevin Harvick. We'll see what he's got in him.
Good. Keep the tires.
The 51 of Joey Gay spins. And now it's going to be a sprint. A lot of damage to the 19 of Daniel Suarez as well. That's the best place to go.
Riding on the 19 car here. This is just a whole bunch of things happening right here. Yeah, it does. 19 got in there. Look at him. Got in there a little deep. 47 got up into the 51. I wonder if there might have been something on the racetrack. All these guys having so much trouble in that corner altogether.
That was really strange. Yeah.
You do like to give them credit.
Here we go. Yeah, you could. Well, I think
You got tires. He's in the gray. He's in the gray. Outside, outside, outside. Outside. Clear low. Outside. 19 spinning.
it looked like. I mean, it looks like there's some oil on the racetrack, but nobody reporting any. Just guys having trouble late in this race, getting cool, getting loose.